Hey everyone, a little rant here today. Now, I'm sure you guys have visited the Pokemon subreddit, Pokemon TCG subreddit, and sometimes people will post collection buys and they'll say, "How did I do?" And sometimes, they'll overpay for cards. Sometimes they'll get a really good deal and people will be shocked. Now, I think a couple of days ago or 2 days ago, there was someone who posted a binder deal that they bought, and they bought this binder for 120 bucks. And you start to go through the binder pages, and it looks really good. Now, if you step through the binder, you see that there's a lot of cool cards, absolutely. But there was one thing is that they're spread out, right? The value of that $120 was spread out, but it was definitely there. So as you look at some of these binder pages, what I did is I popped up some of the TCG Player market price, and I didn't, if it was $7.88, I just put $7, or if it was $1.90 TCG Player, I would just put $1. The reason I would do that is because, I just wanted to see, some of the more liquid cards in that binder set if it would meet the $120. And the reason I'm interested in that $120 is because as someone who takes in singles for the store here, the online store, it's often a thing that I'll have to do is I'll have to go and very detailed fill out, a spreadsheet with information and give that person trade-in value. So this person bought $120. If you look through some of these pages, you'll see full arts, V cards, rainbow cards. You'll see, sometimes, okay, there's $10 worth of value. So we're down to 110. You'll see some pages with, a lot of Vs that, are kind of hard to get a lot of value from, but they still have value, right? 50 cents, but I didn't count them. You go through, there's VMAXs. VMAXs are always, worth $1 to $2, $3. This rainbow page, for example, you'll see, 6, 9, 16, 21, 27, 31, almost like $40 on this single page. VMAXs have $1 here, $1 there. You keep going through, you'll see, okay, we got a V-Star page. V-Stars haven't done as well as, VMAXs have. See, there's some values throughout those. Trainer galleries, definitely amazing cards. Not the highest value, but really cool, and they're pretty liquid. Some old shiny cards from Shining Fates, some Darkness Ablaze. It's an interesting collection. It's definitely someone who's collecting for a while, but they've offloaded their binder. But there's value in there. Now, look at this gold card page, right? So definitely there's like a $10 Reshiram and Charizard GX promo card in there. There is, the Flaffy. There is, Power Tablet, Warp Energy for those filling out sets. So the value, that $120, it's easy to see in this collection. Trainer page, there's a Sonya there. Sonya's a $26 trainer. So the value is definitely in that collection. That person did really well by spending $120. But what got me as I was reading through the Reddit comments, people were debating on the value. Some people were saying, oh, it's about $3 a card. It's a pretty good deal. They counted up the cards. Then I come across a comment, and I've seen this sentiment before. And the sentiment is really singles aren't worth the time. And it's an interesting sentiment that I've thought about a lot. And I see Rob from RNG Games, he dealt with this sentiment. People were commenting, you're spending so much time handling these low-value singles. And I also looked at the time it takes to do singles. And I do singles, but I do not make money. So the sentiment is, oh, you could work a few overtime hours and make the amount of money quickly, rather than doing all this work with singles. Now, it's on face value, sounds like makes sense if you're thinking purely value. But when you're working with cards, when you're participating in the hobby as selling and trading, the actual activity of taking that card, of valuing that card, posting it, the interchange with others, to some people that's retail work. That's that's what they do at their day job if they go and sling burgers, whatever. But a lot of people who do this, working with singles, claim sales, selling, buying lots and selling them, That is part of their enjoyment of the hobby. That's what I enjoy doing. I deal with some of very low value singles. I like take photos of reverse hollows, and I make reverse hollows available. I like going through bulk. I make myself available to the players locally, and they'll give me a player list, and that means I'm going through bulk and pulling out, Tower of Water from Darkness Ablaze, or going through bulk and VIP Battle Pass. So you're not making a lot of money looking at bulk, dealing with singles, making 15 cents on a single for trade-in value. You're not making a lot of money, but that's how I participate in the hobby, right? It's for RNG Games. I mean, he's a huge bulk seller, huge store, gets trade-ins all the time. He makes a profit from it. He breaks down product and sells low-value singles. When you have someone with the sentiment, oh, dealing with singles, it's not worth your time, usually that's someone who's looking at it purely from a profit perspective. And I guess it's okay to look at things from the profit perspective like that. But when I consider working with singles and going through and doing trade-in estimates, I realize that I'm not going to make money. I'll have a sale, right? I'll have revenue. But the time invested, I could easily, as an example, in my day job, I probably make more in a week at my day job, trading my time for money, than I make the entire year slinging Pokemon. It's just how it goes. My day job is lucrative, but me slinging singles, that's part of my enjoyment, right? It's part of how I involve myself. It's how I make things happen. It's how I get to see cards. It's part of it, right? It's how you participate in the hobby. As an online store, I'm not one of the big guys who have like pallets that they're dealing with every month or so. I might get 10, 15 boxes, 15 cases of sealed product in a month. Not a big deal. UPS driver drops it off at my front step, pull it inside, put it online, sell it. Dog's your uncle. Bob's your uncle? Dog's your uncle. Anyway, so that sentiment, I think, I don't think it makes much sense. If you're in the hobby and you're dealing with singles and you're collecting cards, if you evaluate the time you spent participating, the time you spent, looking at cards and going through cards, if you seek enjoyment and you're only making maybe 10, 15 cents an hour, yeah, you're not going to be able to live off of it, but it's what you do, right? It's part of your participation in the hobby. So I often see that there's a little bit people making this comment. They assume every single activity you do when you're working with dealing with Pokemon has to be making money. It's really not true. Sometimes you're just doing it because it's what you're doing, right? You have an option. You could watch a brain dead comedy for an hour, or a dramedy, or you can watch some reality show sitting on the couch, or you can spend that time, looking at cards, taking pictures, reading about cards, posting online. It's the difference between time wasted, that I might consider wasted watching television, and time spent enjoying the hobby. You're not making money watching a reality show. You're maybe not making money selling singles, but one of those things you might like more. Like, I like dealing with singles more than I like sitting in front of the couch watching television. That's just the way it goes. When you see that sentiment, oh, you could be making more money if you just did an extra shift at McDonald's. Sure, but what do you want to do? Do you want to do an extra shift, or do you want to spend $120 on a binder and enjoy flipping those cards for maybe $150, right? You make $30, but you spend a ton of time. But you also, in that process, enjoy dealing with the cards, enjoy posting them, enjoy doing a claim sale. It's how you're participating in the hobby. It's a thing, right? It's entertainment. And that's what many people don't understand is sometimes when you're selling cards or you have a side hustle or side business, you're not going to make a ton of money doing, your side hustle. If Pokemon's your side hustle, you're probably not going to make a ton of money. Even the guys who go full time, they don't make a ton of money. They could probably make more if they went and did a professional career. But they enjoy it. And I think that's important. So I don't make money in my side hustle, but I enjoy it. And I think that's a sentiment it's worthy to have. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a wasted time to be working with singles and to know that you might spend an hour and probably only make 25 cents getting the single, posting it, selling it, paying for shipping, all that? What do you guys think? I personally like doing it. And to me, maybe I'm not making money, but I'm definitely being entertained.